Okay, so once again, good afternoon, students. So about this blood pressure, we have already discussed about this blood pressure. It's not a new topic for you all. So can anyone tell me what do you mean by blood pressure? Yes? Can anyone say? Caroline, can you say what do you mean by blood pressure? Caroline, can you tell me what do you mean by blood pressure? Okay, what about Joondeep? Can you say?
Ma'am, flow blood in our capillaries vein.
Flow of blood in your capillaries and veins. Okay, Kintiu, can you say it more properly? Kintiu? Kintiu, can you hear me? Masmin? Masmin Dev Burma? Can you hear me, Masmin? Okay, what about Miracle?
Ma'am, continue.
Oh, Kintiu. Okay, Kintiu, can you tell me what do you mean by blood pressure? Yes? Okay, please listen carefully, everyone. So blood pressure means what? Blood pressure means when the force. Okay, means that is when the blood is forced into the heart. Understand? Means when it pumps the blood and it goes on circulating to the different parts of your body. Understand? It means that. And blood pressure, how it is measured? How do we measure blood pressure? We measure the blood pressure when a force is against the blood vessels. Okay, and when a force is present or when a force is being pushed into the blood vessels. And in this blood pressure, you can see that you have got two numbers. That is, the first is the systolic and the second is the diastolic blood pressure. Understand? Systolic and diastolic blood pressure. So the first number which you will get, for example, let's say 120 by 80 is the normal BP. So 120 will be systolic pressure. Okay, and systolic pressure, when do we get mostly? When the heart beats and when it is pushed into the arteries. Understand? And the second number is what? The second number is the diastolic. Diastolic blood pressure is the second one. And we usually get the diastolic pressure or the diastolic blood pressure in the, in the ending part. Understand? And in the diastolic pressure, we can see that when the heart is rest. And systolic blood pressure means what? When your heart contracts. When your heart is being active. So in that thing, you get the systolic blood pressure. And diastolic means what? Means when your heart rests, when your heart relax in between the beats. Okay, did you understand systolic and diastolic? Everyone? Did you understand or not? Kajal, did you understand? Yes, Kajal, did you understand? Nyanu and all, did you understand? Which person, Rudolph, did you understand or not?
Ma'am.
Huh? You understand?
Ma'am,
Uh-huh. Hello.
repeat again.
Repeat.
Repeat, ma'am,
Okay.
repeat.
Okay, what do you mean by blood pressure? Blood pressure means what? When from the name itself, pressure. Someone is giving pressure. It's not it. So who is giving pressure? The blood. Understand? So the blood is giving pressure into the where? Into the heart. How? Means when your heart pumps. Okay, when your heart pumps, what happens? It contracts. It's not it. Means it contraction. Contraction used to be there, and because of that, the heart. What will happen? The heart, it will circulate the blood, that is the deoxygenated blood, to all the different parts of the body. And how the blood pressure is measured? The blood pressure is measured by what? By means when a force, okay, when a force is exerted. I mean when a force is present against the blood vessels. And this blood pressure, you can find it in two numbers. It is a systolic and the diastolic blood pressure. Systolic blood pressure, we usually get it at the first number. I mean, the first sound which you will hear is known as the systolic blood pressure. And the diastolic pressure means what? The second sound which you will hear, or else you can say the last sound which you will hear is known as the diastolic blood pressure. So the systolic blood pressure, when do we usually get the systolic blood pressure? When your heart contracts. I mean when your heart becomes active. At that time, you get the systolic blood pressure. And the diastolic blood pressure, when do you get mostly? When your heart relaxes. Understand, when your heart relaxes, when it doesn't do anything, that is in between the two beats, when your heart beats, at that time, you get the diastolic blood pressure. So for example, let's say 120 is the 120 by 80 is the normal BP, is not it? So 120 will be the systolic and 80 will be the diastolic blood pressure. Do you understand now?
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
thank you, ma'am.
So this one. So blood pressure, it can be what? It can be expressed in mm of Hg. Mm means what? Millimeters. And Hg means what? Mercury. So we usually write in this way, 120 by 80 mm of Hg. Okay. Okay. So why it is important to measure blood pressure? Because your blood pressure, it fluctuates every time. Means it changes every time. Due to what? Due to maybe some physical activity which you do, or maybe due to stress, maybe due to pain, maybe due to cold or hot weather. So in that way, your BP also changes time to time. So that's why it is important to measure BP. Is it clear? Is it clear this portion? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next is what? Next is ways to measure BP. So how will you measure BP? First, you have to ask the person to sit down, okay, to relax. Suppose a person is coming from a long walk, or maybe the person is coming from climbing up some stairs, or maybe some stress, somewhat like that. So first, what you need to do, you have to ask the person to sit down and relax at least for 3 minutes. Okay, you have to ask the person to just relax it, so that the circulatory system also, like, it will rest for a little bit. So what you need to do, you have to ask the person to sit down, and you have to ask the person, like, the arm, right? This is the arm. So you have to ask the person to place the arm in somewhere, means through which the arms will be supported. So in that way, you have to ask the person, like you have to place something so that the arm will be relaxed, or else the arm will be like in a good position, you can say like that. And afterwards, what you need to do, you have to ask the person uh, to stay still, to be relaxed, and you have to ask the person to lie the feet on the floor. This is the feet. And what you need to do, you have to place the cuff. This is the BP cuff. So this is the BP cuff, and you have to place the cuff just in the position of the heart level. This is your heart. Here your heart is situated, right? So it will be just, I mean the distance, or not distance actually, the level, yeah. The level should be same. So the this one, the arm and the heart level should be same, so that they can correlate with each other. And what you need to do, okay, so in that way you have to ask the person, I mean this is the position, how you have to ask the person to what to say, how you have to ask the person to sit, or else how you have to ask the person to be in a position when you are checking for the person's temperature, sorry, BP. Okay, so do you remember the BP machine? What is the name of the machine, or what is the name of the instrument used for measuring BP? Subhash, do you remember? Subhash Chaudhary, do you remember? Okay, Anya, do you remember? Anya, do you remember? Srijana, do you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me.
Sphygmomanometer.
Okay, sphygmomanometer, good. So you have got this one, huh? Two instruments for measuring BP.
Yes, ma'am.
That is sphygmomanometer, and the other one is a digital blood pressure monitor. This one. So this one, this is the digital blood pressure monitor. So from the name itself, digital. Digital means what? It is automatically shown in the screen. So what will happen? How will measure BP here? Cuff. This is the cuff, and you have to place it in the hand and the arm. First side it is the palm. Placing what you just need to press the this power point. Okay, this is the ball, and automatically it will be just shown in the screen. The first one which you will find is the systolic blood pressure, and the second one which you will find is the diastolic blood pressure, and the third one you will find is the pulse rate. So in this way it will be shown automatically. And but this digital blood pressure monitor, you will see that mostly for a person who has normal heart rhythm, it usually fluctuates. And some fluctuates, okay, in that way. Okay, next monitor. Okay, so sphygmomanometer. This is a sphygmomanometer. What? This is the pressure meter. Okay, it is also this part, and this is known as the cuff, or else you can say rubber cuff also. And this is the pipe, this is the air valve, this is the squeezable bulb, this is the bulb. Okay, you can squeeze it. So how will you measure? And this is the stethoscope. So how will you start measuring BP? First, what you need to do, as I've already said in the previous slide also, that you have to ask the person to relax. You have to ask the person to sit, and with the help of something you need to support the arm. So what you need to do, uh, you need to place the cuff in the forearm. After that, you need to squeeze the pulse. Okay, you have to make the cuff tight so that while squeezing, when the air will be pumped inside, so that it won't change the position. So that's why what you need to do, you have to place it tight in a proper manner, in a proper way, so that it will be sticking in the same position. Understand? So after placing the cuff in the forearm, what you need to do, you need to squeeze the bulb. This is the bulb. So you need to squeeze the bulb, and as soon as you will squeeze the bulb, what will happen? The air will flow. Okay, the air will flow and it will go where? To the rubber cuff. This is the cuff. So as soon as like we will squeeze the bulb, right, the air will be flown, and what will happen here? It will become big in size. It will puff out. Understand? It will puff out. And what will happen here, as you get the air, it will become tight, and as well as what will you find, you will find that even the manometer, this is the manometer, okay, or else the pressure meter, as you go on inflating the bulb, as you go on inflating or squeezing the bulb, will happen, the mercury here in the mercury is black. As you will, so as you will, the bulb will happen, the mercury level will go up and up and up. So when you will fix enough, okay, means air is inflated enough, what you will have to do, uh, I mean, you just need to, and slowly it will just come down. Here's the mercury, okay, and slowly the mercury comes down, and as it comes on, suppose say you have got 120. So the first sound you will get, suddenly you will start getting sound. That is the first sound. So the first sound which you will hear with the help of the stethoscope, this stethoscope. So this is the diaphragm part. If you have to place the scope where is the diaphragm part, where in the kill, this is a big. So you have a stethoscope, this is a diaphragm, this upside of the brachial artery. Understand? You have to place upside of the brachial artery. Then what will you find? You will have to place the earpiece or your ear just like an earphone. Right? You use your ear or not like that. So in the same way, what will you do? Same thing in the stethoscope also. You have to place the earpiece inside your ear. Understand? You have to place inside the ear. You will have to place the earpiece inside your ear. Understand? And after that, with the help of the stethoscope, that is the diaphragm, you will hear a sound. It is the first sound. So the first sound which you will hear is known as the systolic blood pressure. Understand? So the first sound which you will hear is known as the systolic blood pressure. And slowly the sound will start decreasing. It will decrease. The sound also, it will decrease. So as soon as like it will be totally vanished, it will be totally, the sound will be vanished. So that point, or that point is known as the diastolic. Suppose it stop at 80, so 80 will be the diastolic blood pressure. Do you understand? So in this way, you need to measure BP. And after measuring BP, what will you do? You'll have to free the air with the help of the air valve. Air valve, you remember, you can rotate the air valve. Okay, if you feel that there is enough air inside the cuff, you can rotate it and you can make it tight. Understand? You can make it tight. And as soon as you finish checking BP, what you need to do? You can make the air valve. I mean, slow down, or else you can say that you can make the air valve now loose so that the air it will come from inside the cuff. Okay, and as you make the air valve loose, what will happen? Even the puffiness also this side, it will start to decrease, and you can off the sphygmomanometer. Okay, in that way you can measure BP. And you remember BP you can measure only twice. I mean in one hand, because if you keep on measuring, what will happen? You won't get the exact numbering, or else you won't get the exact one. So that's why one at a time. I mean here you can measure only twice. Okay, in one hand. And if you didn't get the correct one, or else the appropriate one, you can check in the other hand again. But you'll have to wait for a little bit. Okay, is it clear, everyone?
Ma'am, can you repeat again?
Which one?
Because I can't hear you properly.
Okay, which one,
Yes,
Sajarika?
part.
Which part?
Ma'am, digital that blood pressure monitor.
Digital.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
this one. Digital blood pressure monitor is easy only. You just need to place I mean the cuff in your wrist. You can place in your wrist also this part, as well as here also in your arm side also. Okay, or else you can play in your finger and all. It will be a bit different one. Okay, but for this one, what you need to do, you can place in your arm as well as in your wrist also. You can place it, and after placing the cuff in your arms or wrist, what you need to do, you need to on the machine. Okay, here somewhere is a power point, and you need to press this button, and as soon as you press the button, what will happen? It will be automatically appearing in the screen. So the first number which you will be getting is the systolic blood pressure, and the second number which you will be getting is known as the diastolic blood pressure, and the third number which you will be getting is the pulse rate. Okay, so all these three numerical numbers, it will be appearing in the screen. Did you get it, Srijana? Yes? And you have to
Yes,
place,
ma'am.
okay, and you have to place the cuff, I mean at the level of your heart. Same thing, just like the sphygmomanometer also. Okay, this is the sphygmomanometer. It is used for measuring BP, and the sphygmomanometer, yeah, first I will tell you the parts of sphygmomanometer. So this is known as what? Pressure meter, or else it is also known as manometer. Okay, this one. And this one is known as the cuff. You have to place the cuff where in the arm. And this is the pipe, this one. This is the air valve. Air valves, what is the purpose of the air valve? The air valve, they helps in controlling the air. Understand? They helps in controlling the air when you will insert the air inside it. So how will you control the air valve? You can control it by rotating it, okay, and rotating it, and after rotating it, what will happen? You can make it tight. Okay, you can make it tight as well as you can make it loose also. How? How? By rotating it. Okay, you have to rotate the air valve. Next is what? Squeezable valve. Squeezable bulb. From the name itself, squeezable means you can squeeze the bulb. As long as you will squeeze the bulb, what will happen? The air, it will go inside. The air will be inside. And next is what it is. This is stethoscope. It is not a part of the sphygmomanometer, but it is used for measuring BP. Okay, this is the stethoscope. Okay, this is the stethoscope. This is the earpiece or ear tips. This is the binaural. Wait, yeah, it's more. Yeah. Okay, so this is the earpiece or ear tips. This one. You have to place this earpiece or ear tips inside your ear, just like the headphone. This is the binaural. Okay, this is the binaural, and this is the binaural spring. This one. Next is what? Next is tubing. This is tubing. Next is what? Bell. This one. Next is diaphragm. This is the diaphragm. Okay, so these are the parts of stethoscope. So diaphragm, this is the diaphragm. You need to place the diaphragm where? In your brachial artery, right? Brachial artery. This is the diaphragm. So you have to place the diaphragm in your brachial artery. Okay, so how will you measure BP? First, you have to place the we have to place the stethoscope, that is the diaphragm, just above the brachial artery. This is the artery, okay, that is the brachial artery. You need to place the diaphragm just above the brachial artery. Then afterwards, what you need to do, you have to squeeze the bulb. This is the bulb, you have to squeeze it. So when you will start squeezing, what will happen? The air will be flown inside this, and what will happen? Automatically the cuff, okay, this is the cuff, the rubber cuff, it will be puffed out, it will be bigger in size. So as it will be bigger in size, even the cuff also, it will become tight. Okay, it will become tight. It will be as if like someone is pressing you, I mean pressing your hand, right, like this, very much tight. So in the same way, this one also, when you inflate air, so you will feel like as if someone is pressing hardly to you. So same thing, this one also, as pressure or else air is inserted, same thing will happen here also. Understand? So when you will squeeze the bulb, what will happen? The air will go inside this, and when the air will go inside, what will happen? The cuff will also increase, and it will become tight. And what will you find? You will find that even the mercury level, okay, the mercury level, that is the manometer or a pressure meter, also it will start increase. Here is the mercury, okay, this is the black color one. It will increase as long as you will squeeze the bulb, right? It will increase, it will go on increasing, I mean this level. So when you will place the brachial when you will place the diaphragm in the brachial artery, what will happen? It will increase, and you will stop at a point. Suppose you stopped at 200, let's say you stopped at 200. Then what will you do now? You will start making, I mean you will start waiting for the sound. Okay, you will start to wait it. So the first sound, you will obviously hear a sound. So the first sound which you will hear is known as the systolic blood pressure. Suppose, say let's say you got 120, the first sound, which is known as the systolic blood pressure, and slowly the sound will start decreasing. Slowly it will start decreasing. So the last sound which you will hear is it will be known as diastolic blood pressure. Suppose let's say it stopped at 80, so it will be 80. So how much it will be? 120 by 80 mm of Hg. Okay, did you understand? Did you understand, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now will you be able to say how to measure BP? Will you be able? Yes? Okay, Salmi De Burma, can you hear me? Okay, Sajarika, can you hear me, Sajarika? Rudolph, can you hear me, Rudolph?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Rudolph, please tell the name of this. What is this?
Which one, ma'am?
Uh-huh.
Which one?
This one, I'm pointing it. Can you see the arrow? I'm moving the mouse.
No, ma'am.
Can you see or not?
No, I cannot see the arrow.
Okay, then you just say what is the name of the instrument used for measuring BP?
This instrument.
Yes, what is the name of the instrument or machine used for measuring BP?
Um, is this
Uh-huh.
blood pressure monitor?
No, the other one, the other one. Can you see the screen or
Other.
not?
Yes, ma'am.
Say this one, blood pressure monitor, digital blood pressure monitor, so it is digital, right? So this one is not
This.
digital. So what is the
Yes.
name?
I don't know how to pronounce this one, ma'am.
Sphygmomanometer, you say?
Sphygmomanometer.
Sphygmomanometer, okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the instrument used for measuring BP. It is denoted as what? Mm of Hg. Mm means millimeter, Hg means what?
Mercury.
Mercury, yes. Okay, I hope you understood. Hmm? Everyone, did you understand today's class? Physiology practical?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.